God, we are getting things going this morning. We are getting things going this morning. Good freaking morning, everyone, and welcome. Let's make sure I'm coming through loud and clear. Let's see how all of this is popping off, and welcome to Friday Morning Magic, the most fun you can have on the entire internet right here on this channel every single Friday freaking morning. Good morning. I'm in a really obnoxiously, annoyingly good mood. Like, I'm going to tell you all, I should not be in this good of a mood. I had the day off yesterday. My daughter's daycare couldn't watch her. They had a conflict. They actually had a family member having a procedure done. Everything was fine. Everything went great. But that means I could spend the whole day yesterday. I didn't go to work. I took the day off. And I just hung out with my daughter. And we just played. I just played with a 1-year-old all day long. It was so refreshing. It was so much fun. I had a freaking blast. I lost my mind. I had so much fun. And it just it reinvigorated me, man. It energized me. And then I got to the gym last night. I had a bunch of time to get a lift in. I gotta tell you, I that would be hard to do every single day. That would drain me. That would destroy me to try to do every single day. But good Lord, it was real fun to do for one day. That was where it's at. So I want to say cheers to each and every one of you out there in YouTube land. We've got so much to talk about today. I have spent some time this morning updating all of the sales information for upcoming Magic releases. We went back. We got Wilds of Eldraine. I updated Disney Lorcana. We got Lord of the Rings Special Baller Collector Awesome Edition. We got Rivals of Ixalan. Way too early pre-sales. We've got so much information to talk about this morning. And for comparison, I did an update to the Bright Lights sales data for the HTTCG Flesh and Blood. So we have something to compare things to, just to kind of always keep everything in perspective. So shout out to you guys. Yoko, good morning. This podcast should be about booby. Oh, somebody got into May the Zuby with you a little bit already. Somebody got into May the Zuby with you apparently this morning. We will get into stuff like that. Nick, channel member Nick, good freaking morning. I hope you are enjoying your day. Nick, big shout out to you. Thank you for hanging out this morning. MTG Captain, good day. Good morning, Yoko. I had to take care of 2 kids trying to work from home. That right there sounds like it would be exhausting. Again, I didn't have no responsibility. Right? I had the responsibility of caring for the child, which is obviously a big, heavy responsibility. But we didn't have doctor's appointments or anything. We just we walked for an hour. We went to the park. We played. I got a special deal on a coffee. It was just an incredible day. Very low responsibility. So, morning legends, Austin J, let's go. Good morning. You are the legend in the chat. This live stream today is brought to you by Seth Cheatham. Seth was the most recent person to join the channel membership. I have pinned a comment. If you enjoy these live streams, if you want to continue supporting the channel more than just subscribing and watching the live stream, if you want to go above and beyond that, you can join the channel membership, access to exclusive content, custom emotes, all of my sales data that I post to all of the members, and eventually when Cardboard Finance gets going, you will have a special login and access to Cardboard Finance as an initial alpha/beta tester that is still, a ways away, but it will be something that is coming. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for supporting, and the channel members that I do see, like Nick in the chat, thank you so much. But this stream and this coffee is brought to you by Seth. Now, I want to make this very clear, and let's see if I don't know if I have this set up on this process yet. We bought, because of the channel members, we picked up another camera. And that means in these live streams, we will have a top-down view to be able to open boxes. That's right. We can do some box openings for set releases, especially because sets release on Fridays. So opening on Friday morning after the release as and I know all the game stores and everyone will get to do the early openings. And since, MinMax does support the channel, I'll often get to do early opens, but it's part of the aesthetic, it's part of the feel to do the opening on the Friday morning of release live with a bunch of friends. That would be freaking cool. So we do have the extra camera. I don't know if I've added. Let's see if I can find it. Ready? Let's see if we can find the cam. Let's see if we can find it. Hold on. Oh, is this you? Oh, it's not centered or anything yet. I just set it up and got it going. Oh. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Does anyone watch Red Zone? Does anyone watch NFL Red Zone? You want to double box me in? Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2, camera 1. You guys get the gist. I've been on a Wayne's World kick recently, man, but we have the second camera. Let's go. Shout out to the people joining the channel memberships for being able to make stuff like this possible. I'm excited to do some box openings. So, oh no. Yoko says, do a bottom-up camera. I've always wondered what the underside of a table looks like during a box opening. It is awful. It is, I gotta tell you, the underside of any table is atrocious during a box opening. But we've got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. I don't want to delay too much further because we have so much information. And I want to start with Lord of the Rings Special Baller Ultra Mega Edition because I have to own this. Hold on, I'm gonna need coffee for this. Okay. If you have caffeine out there, cheers to you. Enjoy a sip because this is gonna be difficult. It's selling really poorly on TCG Player so far. It is selling atrociously on TCG. Like, oh, it's not good, my friends. It's not good. Let's see if we can get a little zoom out going here. So this is the sales data for Lord of the Rings Special Ultra Baller Cool Edition. Let me move this over so you guys can see your chat a little bit. For anybody watching the stream back in the future, grow that chat, because what you guys say really is the highlight of this stream. What you guys say in chat really is often the highlight of the stream. But we have here Lord of the Rings Special Super Baller Collector I'm Out of Frame because I was playing with the cameras edition. And for those who have been around and seen sales numbers from this channel for a while now, you know this is what I would consider to be less than impressive sales information. Orange says that's not a coffee, that's an icy dessert with caffeine. Listen. A, it's sugar-free. B, I drink black coffee when it's hot, when it's cold. I don't like iced coffee black. I would drink hot coffee black. So the first cup of coffee I have every day is just a cup of black coffee for Friday morning magic. You're right, I splurge a little bit. Thrifty PS Gamer Reviews, good morning. For those who've been around, they know these numbers, not super impressive. We're seeing 1,402 boxes sold. The collector box has only sold, 196 boxes on popular online marketplace TCG Player. When it comes to Lord of the Rings Special Baller Collector Edition, something is going on. Something is up. These numbers, much lower than I anticipated, and official release is November 3rd. That is, if I'm not mistaken, next week. That's next week is the official release. We are looking at some terrifyingly low numbers, and I think there's a reason why. We got Uncle Chris in chat saying, yes, it's the price. I think that's why the collector box is not selling. You could tell me a story that this is why the collector box is not selling. But we got some information about this product not too long ago about, like, hey, there's going to be unique cards in this set. There's going to be new cards in this set. There's going to be different treatments. I think that these products right here, oh, this still says breakdown of commander decks. This needs to say breakdown of scenes. So I think there's a problem with the scenes, and in my opinion, the problem with the scenes is that they come with the regular Lord of the Rings product set packs, and there's no set pack here. So your lowest price per entry, we always talk about, it's so important to have, like, you gotta have something that people with a couple bucks in their pocket, like regular people like you and me that aren't trying to buy $500 collector boxes or whatever they are these days, can, like, oh, I'm feeling frisky on a Friday, I'm gonna go get something to open up and sit at my coffee table and have a drink, or whatever, however it is you choose to enjoy your product. There's nothing here for that really leans into the newness of this set, except for those scene bundles. I think the art in the scene bundles is what's helping them sell, and we see when people buy them, oh, this should say, you know, see, this is why I can't do things in the morning. So the scenes here we see, because I think the set of scenes is only like $130 or something like that, 133. We'll go on TCG Player today and make sure we check all this stuff and kind of look at prices and maybe even some singles this morning. But the scenes are cheap enough as an entry point where people are like, F it, I'm just gonna buy all four. I'm not gonna waste my time going by this one or that one or this one or that one. I'm just gonna buy all four. Now when it comes to who's buying the individual ones, the Gandalf scene is like, it's sold 7 of them. Mr. Bill, good morning. Origin Zell said, I saw a collector box break and the scene cards are in them, 1 per box. Oh, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. But if you want the scene cards, I mean, you definitely got to go with just the scene that you want the card from, right? 100%. So this is, I don't know if it's the rest of the community. I don't know how people are feeling about this. I was always a bit skeptical on the success of this product, and it does look like, you know, it's not going great. It's not off to a rousing start. Let's put it that way. And so I haven't changed the names of these from where we copied them over, but these are the various scenes and everything. We look, our sales for a lot of these things are capping at 15, 12. These are the various scenes. I got to change the names of these graphs, but that's totally fine. And the total is, you know, fluctuating between 20 and 40 boxes a day based on how close we are to the release. And I got to tell you, none of this is very reassuring for this product. This 100% does make me nervous about the future of this product. Patrick, good morning. Harold said, wonder how this bodes for the Marvel multi-year release of Lord of the Rings. Basically sells this slow. So, and that's something worth talking about, and we'll get into that in a second. Harold, that's a great, first of all, Harold, I don't know if I've seen you in this chat before, but freaking welcome to Friday Morning Magic. And if I've missed you in the past and I didn't recognize that, that's on me. That's my bad. I try to point out and see every new name that pops up in the chat. I do think that this is going to differ a lot from Marvel, and this, in my opinion, was a bit of a flawed release, and I think is going to stand outside of the norm. And I think the best example that I can use for that would be something like, let's pop back over, something like March of the Machine Aftermath. Now, March of the Machine Aftermath had the same idea, right? The whole point of March of the Machine Aftermath here was to, like, hey, have March of the Machine, and then where we struggled, getting you to continue to buy product, continue to play and purchase March of the Machine, we need to do something to maybe reinvigorate your love for that set. We did it with the complete bundle, and it worked to a charm. Phyrexia sales actually had a little bit of an uptick when the complete bundle's delayed release came through. This was a fail in that regard, because A, is such a small set, it was so easy to buy the set, it was so cheap, and B, there wasn't really a ton that people wanted to play in this product. I think the Lord of the Rings Special Collector Baller Super Edition leans into that a bit, right? We're going to see, yes, there is some new stuff in there technically, but we're very fond of the original release. We don't really feel a need to go back. The new stuff isn't drawing us in. It's an attempt to get us to revisit that. Heck, they're reselling set packs in the scene bundles, and we just don't seem to be taking to it. So I don't know. This is a different one. So, but Harold, as far as the Marvel release is concerned, I don't think that'll be the case. With Lord of the Rings, without them expanding into The Hobbit and all the rest of the stories, they kind of had one overarching, like, all of the Lord of the Rings story released in the first product. Marvel goes so much wider that we could see follow-up and mini releases, but they could truly stand on their own, in my opinion, right? Now, Lord of the Rings could do the same thing. They'd have to branch out into the individual stories and things like The Hobbit, but they chose, they either didn't have the rights to do that or chose not to do that, so I think it's going to differ there. I think with Marvel, we could see an Avengers release, and then we could see an Aftermath-style subset of the Iron Man storyline or the Spider-Man storyline or things like that. I should pull out. I recently collected some Iron Man comic books. I should pull those out one of these days. They were, when I was working at a game store way back when, Iron Man comic books were re-released, and I would order one on every like subsequent release. So that was always a good time. So yeah, Lord of the Rings Special Baller Super Ultimate Awesome Edition, selling, let's call it not great. Let's call it not great. Patrick says, good morning, Josh. Good morning, Patrick. How you doing? Thrifty PS Gamer said they didn't do a lot of new cards, so their cost is probably super low. I mean, the return can be super low and still be profitable. Sure, but we like to talk about it like, what do we think about the set, right? And this is my justification to, like, hey, these sales that we're seeing or the lack of sales that we're seeing, why is that happening? That's kind of what comes to mind. They should be doing more things like the complete bundle. Nick, I knew there was a reason you and I got along so well. Listen, the complete bundle, affordable entry point, limited print, collectible. Anybody could go out and get their hands on one. What a win. The only loss for the collector bundle is that you could get it on Amazon for a while, and they all should have just filtered through local game stores. Which, listen, I like Rudy as much as the next guy. I've been saying they should do what he's claiming they are doing for some time. God, I hope I'm right. I know he has like actual sources and an actual YouTuber, and I hope he's right. But I also hope that I am right. Mosh, good morning, Mosh. How you doing? I hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Or Giselle, I'll be going for the scene card singles. Also looking forward to those nice Ixalan mana crypts, otherwise reserved list cards. Just too much set coming out in a short time. Listen, that's a way a lot of people feel. Totally respect that. And we are going to talk about Ixalan next on this live stream today. We've got a bunch of Ixalan stuff to talk about, so we'll make sure to get into that. We also have Lorcana information, and let's call it skeptical. I'm skeptical. Keith Foster, LGS owner. Good morning, Keith. I hope you enjoyed my last video where I got a chance to put on my LGS owner hat and step into your shoes for a day. I think I'm going to do more stuff like that. That was a lot of fun. Listen, I had an obnoxiously good time putting on my LGS owner hat. If you guys haven't seen that video, check that out, because I get an excuse to wear my wife's Taylor Swift costume for school's hat. It was pretty funny. It made me giggle, and that's what I like. Thrifty PS Game Reviews. What is the complete bundle? It came in during March of the Machine. Ooh, the complete bundle was this little bad boy here. It was kind of a collector bundle that came out with Phyrexia All Will Be One. It was actually the standard set right before March of the Machine. It was limited in print. It contained things called oil slick foils, which were like really dark and rich versions of these cards that were highly collectible. It was limited print, and it was on the shelf at, I think it was $80 was the retail price, and then obviously the secondary market did its thing, flew through the roof. But the idea that like the entry point was where it was, you could get one. It was every local game store got a bunch of bundles, but then that was it. That was just that was the print, and it was it, and it had something special in it, and we went crazy. We had been starved for collectability for so long, and man, to like get it back was just it just felt good. And I gotta tell you, it might be my favorite product of the year. God, I love having that Secker Camp. Shout out to the channel members again, just for helping make that purchase possible. Now, as the family's expanding, it makes it really difficult to justify spending, money from the 9-to-5 job on this. So you guys supporting and making us, giving us the ability to buy that cam, get it all set up so we can do some box openings on the stream. Yeah, that's just amazing. Keith Foss said you should have been popping antacid. For what? What? I don't know what that's for. I'm sorry, Keith Foster. Like, listen, I appreciate you, but I don't remember what I said that could have justified popping antacid. Origicel, have a great day. Thank you so much for hanging out. You rock. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Let's move on to Lost Caverns of Ixalan. So, summary here. In summary, skeptical about Lord of the Rings special super baller edition release, because, man, that should just be selling more. Like, these numbers, and we'll look one more time. Just, these numbers are just, in my opinion, just not enough. It's just not enough. More of this product should be selling, especially for the hype that the first set had. It's not enough. That's my opinion. It's not enough to deem it successful. I need to see a Magic product sell a bit more than that. This is what I'm mostly going to buy personally. Are we talking, Rob, are you talking about Lord of the Rings, or are you talking about Lost Caverns? Because I said I'm moving on. Also, let's get this out of the way. Let's get this out of the way before we go into the Lost Caverns of Ixalan segment of this live stream. I'm going to call it Rivals of Ixalan. I don't know why, but in my head, I just keep mucking up that title. I've done it a million times. It's going to happen. It's 100% going to be called Rivals of Ixalan at some point during this live stream. That's my bad. It's my bad. I'm going to work on it. Bear with me here. I am old. I know it's Lost Caverns. I know. Chat, I know it's Lost Caverns. Yoko says Rivals of the Caverns. Yoko just exists to try to continue to confuse me, which is hilarious. PMGOTTSC says Dino Tribal adding to collection because of Rex. Let's go. First of all, welcome to the stream. Don't know if I've seen your name before. Thank you for tuning in. Secondly, who doesn't love dinosaurs? Like, it's dinosaurs. It's the opportunity to play Magic the Gathering with dinosaurs. I'm in. Like, that's just sweet. That's just cool. Welcome to the stream. Rob is all in on Lost Caverns. Let's go. All right, so Lost Caverns of Ixalan, this is way too early pre-sale data. Let's get that out of the way. This is the way too early pre-sale information. This set's selling pretty well so far, with the official release on November 17th and it being cannibalized a bit by Lord of the Rings, although, as we just saw, Lord of the Rings not doing super hot. Make sure you check out that segment of the live stream if you haven't already. This product is one I'm really excited about. This is going to be the closest representation, in my opinion. This and the Wilds of Eldraine set booster box will be the closest representation of what the play booster is going to feel like. That's my hot take here. This is going to be, it's got something you can get most of everything you can get in the collector box. Out of these products, it looks like it's got popular Commander reprints. It's got a great theme for people who want new cards and, you know, new design. It's got dinos to get excited, and I think the special guests are very on theme and on point. Like the cards that we've seen from the special guests from the Jurassic Park crossover feel very on par and on point with everything else that we're looking at in this product. And to kind of put it into perspective, we're seeing what we see a lot with these standard set releases as of things like March of the Machine, and even looking back one before for actually all will be one, even with the collector box containing some things that hold great value. Wilds of Eldraine is a great example. Those confetti foils, hey, a couple of them holding a couple $100 in value. I thought for sure those would come down fairly rapidly. They have not. But the set booster box containing most of what you can pull in the collector box with all of the popular reprints, all of the like staples for your various formats we see here. I think there's an Amulet of Vigor. There's a brand new piece of hammer art in here. Obviously, there's a Mana Crypt that we've talked about. Like, these popular reprints being in that set box is going to lead to that set box being far and above the best-selling product here. That's my prediction. And we see it like it's going off at almost 2-to-1 already, right? 62% of every box, almost 63% of every box sold on TCG Player is a set booster box. And like, listen, this just goes to show, I mean, look at that number of draft boxes being sold. Like, the number of draft boxes being sold here just shows, and I know I'm going to take flack for this, but like, maybe, just maybe, Wizards of the Coast was right to change how we open boxes, to introduce the play booster and make that more like the set booster than it was the draft booster. Because like, Listen, I'm old. I'm old in the Magic game at this point. I like playing limited as much as the next person, but like, the numbers don't lie, guys. Like, the numbers don't lie. Josh Smith, good freaking morning. You showed up right at the perfect time here, but I don't know. The numbers just don't lie. With the collector box here, we see is 33%. I think we see this percentage of the collector box trend kind of continue, where it's 25 to 33% of a product sold is the collector booster box, and I think we see that shift coming again with the play booster. Wilds of Eldraine, the set booster, has all the fun stuff you can get. I mean, heck, you want a foil anime Restock study, you can get that out of the set booster. You don't have to buy the collector booster. So I think we see this trend, kind of that breakdown of the boxes, 66%, 66 to 75% being the set booster box, or if in the future the play booster box, and then 25 to 33% we're making up the remaining to be the collector booster box. And this is where, like, I don't know, things get interesting. We're spending, because we're buying so much more of the set booster box, it's matching, or at least coming close to matching, the amount of money we're spending on the collector booster box. For those who have seen these graphs in the past, it gets obnoxious. It's crazy. It's like, oh, we bought a third of the product that we bought was a collector booster box, and it accounted for 60% of the total revenue, and you're like, wait, like what? It's the price difference is insanity, and it leads to some crazy trends we're seeing. And it made sense. Like, it showed us why Wizards of the Coast spent so much time focused on the collector booster box and making that special, because, like, hey, the collector booster box just made them a ton of money, right? It was less cardboard they printed and made them way more money for fewer sales. But the trends are what is interesting here. The total boxes sold for Rivals of Ixalan, if we see in this bottom graph right here, right above the channel membership, which again, I gotta pump my own channel. Click the channel membership, $5 a month, support above and beyond. We try to get 3 a week. We've got 1 so far this stream, and this coffee brought to you by Seth, the most recent channel member. Big shout out. But the 125 box cap seems to be like, we're up here as a community, we're reaching for this 125 box cap, and then we're kind of just coasting. We're coasting at this 125 box cap, and we talked about it's made up mostly of set boxes, but it's interesting that it's staying so consistent over the last couple days, especially. So I'll be interested to see how this one pans out. Oh my God, Josh Smith is... Oh my God, Josh Smith, you are the GOAT. You are... What is going on? Yo, what is going on? You have gifted a membership. Yoko is an official channel member. Yoko, present at every live stream. Stupid Elf, welcome to the channel membership. You guys freaking rock. You guys are blowing up the channel membership. That makes all 3 for this week. You guys are awesome. Cheers to all of you. I can't believe that. And because of that, you know what we'll do? You know what we're going to do? That channel, the channel membership is the reason we're going to go top-down camera soon and be able to open boxes on release day on this stream. Why? Because camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2, you guys helped purchase the second backup freaking camera. That's so crazy. That's awesome. You guys rock. Thank you so much. So we've got some information on, I see, there was Rivals of Ixalan. There was right on the tip. It was right on the tip. It was coming out of my mouth, and I had to stop it. Matthew, I don't own a game store. Matthew's been on this. You look like you own a game store, kick. I don't know. I wanted to own it. Trust me, if I could make it happen, I would own a game store. I just can't. Big shout out. Big shout out. Listen, Yoko, you deserve to be in the community. You're always hanging out, so thank you so much. I think we're going to see this set maybe slow down a bit. This is going to slow down a little bit, in my opinion. We're going to see this kind of maybe come back down to earth. You know what I'm saying? Stupid Elf says, well, I've been watching you since you joined Lucifer and George on Kitchen Table TCG Weekly. First of all, Stupid Elf, welcome to the way better, way smaller, way less successful YouTube channel. My buddy Louie is crushing it on YouTube over there. Oh my gosh, Harold, big shout out with the super chat. Harold with the super chat, massive shout out. Thank you so much, Harold. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yes, I will never forget about the super chats. And we will talk about that podcast. That podcast is wild. this week. You guys are blowing up the chat so much, it's hard to even talk. But what do you guys think Rivals of Ixalan? I want to add time for chat opinion. Is it poll time? Oh, it might be poll time. It might be poll time. Wow. Everyone is thinking we're going to sell the most Lord of the Rings Special Baller Collector Edition. And it does look like that is the slowest selling product so it's right now. Ooh. I was with you guys till I pulled the numbers. This is the important. This is the poll, and I need to know your guys' opinion. I want to know which set is going to sell better. Which set will sell better? I got Wilds of Eldraine. So I want to know which set you guys think is going to sell better. I got a poll in the chat, and let's talk about it. So make sure if you're here, make sure to vote on that poll. But which set's going to sell better? Wilds of Eldraine or Rivals of Ixalan? And I want to have this caveat, and I want to have a real discussion about this. PMGOTSC, Lorcana has it hands down. Really, you think Lorcana's going to sell more boxes than those Magic sets? Ooh, that's a hot take. That's a hot take. I like that. I like the hot takes in this chat. Listen, I am all for the hot takes in this chat. You guys know how I roll on this stream. You will fit in great here. Cubbies 6222. First of all, are you from Chicago? Because I think. Oh, hold up. My wife's cup is right over at the auxiliary desk in the office. We have a Cubbies cup down here. I'll admit, I'm not a baseball fan. Sorry, I suck. I don't know. I like Lost Caverns, but like Wilds, in my opinion, the Wilds set box. The Wilds of Eldraine set box might be the product of the year. It might be the product of the year. Stupid L says, go Southside. Listen, my wife was like 8.5 months pregnant, and we won tickets to a Sox game, and she insisted that we go. And we sat on the third baseline, like 5th row back for like, I don't know, a couple innings. She's like, it is way too hot. I am so pregnant. I was like, of course, let us leave, please. We should not be out here. I was nervous the whole time. She's like, no, we won these tickets. I'm going to this game. I'm like, yes, dear, whatever you want. And we sat out there. It was a beautiful park. It was a lot of fun, but man, that was an experience. Josh just says Wilds. People have a lot of love for the fan base of Ixalan. Plus, it's holiday season. Funds will be bigger than normal than issues. Ooh, Josh is going Wilds. Make sure, give me your vote in that poll. What's going to sell more this winter? And remember, it's hard for people to revisit. It's hard for people to revisit Magic products because there's always so much stuff coming out. Joshua says Lorcana will be half of sales and the other half will be the rest of TCGs. Wow. Joshua says Lorcana is going to sell half of the sales for this winter of the products that we're tracking. That would be insane. Listen, we're going to find out. Just like Lord of the Rings Special Baller Collector Edition, I am open to products not selling super well. Matthew, who I must convince before the end of the stream that I do not own a game store too. If I owned a game store, I would do the live stream from the game store. I wouldn't do it from my office. This would be silly. This would be outrageous. LCS has Mana Crypt, though, is what Matthew says. Sorry, I got it. Matthew, you get me on a tangent. And listen, are you the new Josh? Has Josh elevated to Super Josh? And you are new Josh that just instigates me all the time? Josh Smith, have you elevated to the next? Have you ascended to level Super Josh? LCI does have Mana Crypt. It has Amulet of Vigor. It's got a new hammer. These things aren't going to be like crazy expensive cards, but they're playable. Like, they're cards that when you open, you're not just like, oh man, what can I do with? Like, you're like, no, I can totally put this in a deck somewhere. Stupid Elf says, I love the white stuff. Frank the Big Hurt will always be my favorite first baseman. He's in a bunch of commercials around here now. Like, it's funny to see these players that you watched play and like remember being icons of like your area growing up that are now like in these commercials. So it's as like testosterone commercials and stuff. You're like, whoa. Mo says, I'm reinvesting in these Brothers War set box we got for 72, I think, from the largest LGS in the world. Wow. What's Mosh? What's the largest LGS in the world? That's insane. Yoba says, thanks, Josh Smith, by the way. I appreciate it. But Josh Smith with the goated gifted channel membership to Yoko. That's awesome. Oh, Mosh. Mosh says the largest LGS in the world is Amazon. That's an interesting discussion point on whether or not we're going to see the Amazon dump start to subside. I wish I was able to like link videos during the live stream or something like that, but I did a video about that, which was I think they're slowing on the Amazon dumps, guys. It sure feels like they are. It sure feels like they're slowing on the Amazon dumps. So this is the Lost Caverns of Ixalan sales data here. Let's pop back over. Just one more good look. Again, channel members, I will do a post with these spreadsheets. So if you're a member and you want to look out in your YouTube, your community tab and look out for these posts, I will do my best to make sure I actually get it right this time. So again, any access to data that I have, any data I collect, you all will have access to, because it's only fair. And then look out, again, Cardboard Finance could be on its way, the actual website to house some of this crap, so we can put this data live and have people like get in there and tinker. I'm working on a comparison tool where you can pick a date range and a couple sets and see like in that date range, or even 3 weeks post-release, 3 weeks up to a week before release, up through pre-release, compare all these sets. That stuff will be a lot of fun, in my opinion. So, and I also think it's extremely valuable to know like how we're spending our money on these products. But I do want to take a look at something that we haven't had much time to talk about. We'll look at that in a second. Let's hide that. Let's hide that real quick. So the Wilds of Eldraine sales data. So this Wilds of Eldraine is something that I was extremely excited about. Like, did you guys buy any Wilds of Eldraine? And while we're talking Wilds of Eldraine, let's see, where did you guys end up on the poll? Where did you guys end up on the poll as to what product is going to outsell the other? Wow. 75% of you think more people will buy Lost Caverns of Ixalan than Wilds of Eldraine out of 20 total votes. And listen, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong, but I think it's going to be closer than we imagine. I do believe the Wilds of Eldraine set box, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again into a microphone, is a strong contender, a candidate for product of the year. Like, product of the freaking year, I think could go to the Wilds of Eldraine set booster box. Oh, Harold, your donation, your super chat donation just came through. Harold, I don't know why that was so delayed, but listen, it gives us an opportunity to thank you again. Thank you, Harold, for the super chat. But if we look here, the set booster box is so consistent for Wilds of Eldraine, and it makes up for so much of the total product sold. The set booster box is insane. It's selling in massive numbers compared to everything else. It makes up for so much of the product, and the reason is you can get anything out of the set booster box, save the confetti foils, which they're expensive, they're popular, but they don't seem to be what kind of drives us to purchase the product. The set booster box, you can get your anime art, your regular art, your full art, and you can get them all in foil out of the set booster box. A bunch of chances at those hits. Save the fact that there's, you can always get the normal list slot stuff. And I believe if we were to go and let's pop over, let's see if we can pull up TCG Player. I think the set booster box as of this morning was still holding $120 value, which I want to ask you guys. Let's see if we can pop over. We got TCG Player. I want to ask you guys, when was the last time you remember here? Set booster display. Oh, it's just out of frame. Here, we'll do like this. Ready? We'll have to redo this because when we go back to the sales data, when was the last time you guys remembered a set booster box coming out and like maintaining this $120 price point? Like, it's fluctuated between 122 down to 113, 111. But when do you guys remember this happening? I don't remember a box coming out and holding this strong, this long after release. Like, we've had Doctor Who Commander at this point. Like, this is a big deal. The fact that this is still a valuable product is a big deal. And the biggest win here is it's a standard booster box. This is not news. If you're here on this live stream, you've heard this before. This is not like special Universes Beyond, Ultra, Collector. This is just a standard release. And Colin says it hasn't been that long though, but in Magic terms, in Magic the Gathering world, as far as time, we often see these products just fall off a cliff post-release. We're well far beyond a month out of release, and realistically this release day is 9/1, right? Because the stores get pre-releases, we start to see the box opening, products are leaking onto the market, and a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people have access to product way too early. So by this time, and Colin, I'm not acting like it's been a bunch of time. You make a great point. I should add a little bit more perspective. It's been a long time in Magic the Gathering release cycle world, especially because, like, hey, November 3rd, 1 week from today, from this stream right now, we've got Lord of the Rings Special Baller Ultra Collector Super Edition coming out, right? Like, so it's doing a lot better than most products that we followed. So Colin, that is a great point. I do want to point out though that in that world, it's been a long time for like the cycle of a Magic release, because we normally just stop buying stuff, guys. Like, and we've tracked it on this channel. You guys see it. We look at things like when we were following Phyrexia All-Obi-Wan, an amazing set, hype on release, but like we kind of fell off, and then the complete bundle brought us back into the fold. Agent Zero, good freaking morning. Agent Zero, is that a Gilbert Arenas name? If that's a Gilbert Arenas name, that is freaking awesome. Tawakaja, did I get that right? I am doing my best. Listen, now that we have the second camera, now that we have this camera and we go back to box openings, shout out to the channel members who made that possible. Now that we have you cam, and that will be the top down for box opening cam, you guys will learn I am awful at pronouncing anything. My pronunciation is terrible, so if I butcher your name in the YouTube chat, I am so sorry. Eldraine 1.0 was successful and everyone was happy with it, while Ixalan was considered garbage at first. What if people miss out more of the cute little dinos? I don't think, maybe, yeah, Ixalan wasn't super crazily received, but man, Ixalan is cool now, and I think people have caught on. But that's a great point. Yoko says it's not just the seal, the singles are holding up a lot and going up for Wilds. That's true, and they did it right. In Wilds of Eldraine, we saw that run of Enchanting Tales cards, and that run of cards being popular. Again, we talked about not all of them are hyper valuable, but when you open one, you're like, oh, I definitely have a home for this card. Like, I have a place to put it. That matters. It's not just about the value on the secondary market. And for a channel that tracks a lot of these sales and looks at a lot of numbers, especially to like try to consider how we can be better consumers and better Magic fans, I know that's weird to say, but it matters when you open a box and you see a card and it's a 90-cent card, but it's got different art, and you're like, oh, I can put this in my insert deck here, right? When you say that phrase, you're like, oh, you have a better feeling about opening that box. You're not necessarily as concerned with, did I get my money back or not? And when you go to buy a box again the next time, you're a little more confident, because you're like, oh, maybe I'll open something that I'll add to this deck or add to this deck. So playables, even cheap playables, matter. Oh, I'm gonna get started on the whole game pieces thing. Who's been around since, like, this is an off the wall question. Who's been around since like the early days of Hometown TCG, back when we covered like Flesh and Blood, when we talked almost solely about Flesh and Blood, we were doing deck techs and things like that. I was grinding 5 events per week, and I was doing an FNM and a weekly Modern event. Like, who was around for those days? Because I used to say something in early Hometown TCG videos that I've stopped saying, but I need to remember that the audience is probably a little bit different now, and I need to start saying it again. And it is all about the spectrum of people who play your game or people who buy your product. That, to me, is way more important. You've got this online argument that's becoming. You've got the people like everything needs to be free, everything needs to be cheap and affordable. They're game pieces that are meant to be played, and you got the other side of this crowd that's like everything needs to have value, everything needs to be collectible, every set needs to have all of these perks for people to look and put on a shelf and things like. And realistically, Patrick, that's totally fine. But realistically, 90% to 99%, I would even say, of people live somewhere on this spectrum. Nobody is all like, everything needs to be cheap and free, because like when you open a collector box and you open something valuable, you definitely don't give it away. Like, you definitely sell that card. You definitely look at TCG player values when you're trading amongst your friends. You acknowledge this value, and then you try to trade to increase your value. Like, that's how trading has always worked. On the other side, very few people just buy the product and be like, man, I hope it goes up in value. Or like, oh, the secondary market is tanking. Like, we also play with the cards. You also want to be able to get cards to play with. So while you want things to hold value, you still want to be able to get cards into your hand and put them down on a table with your friends. Like, that's still an important aspect of how you play and love Magic the Gathering. So it's funny to see the internet, the Magic internet, kind of segregate itself into like, everything's a game piece and it's free, or everything needs to be expensive and collectible, when realistically the answer, like most things in our community, lies like everyone shades some sort of way on this spectrum, but we also have to acknowledge the other side for a healthy ecosystem. Like, the two sides must coexist for this healthy ecosystem, and it's wild to see people just being like, no, it's one or the other, and it's horrible. Like, that to me is something I didn't see this timeline coming. I thought we would get more moderate in 2023 and be like, yeah, maybe we need both, maybe both are good. Peter Thompson with the sub. Welcome to the community, Peter Thompson. Thank you for hitting that sub button. If you're here and you want to chat and you haven't hit that sub button, make sure you smash it right now. Yoko says, my buddy usually buys a box for me every set. This was the first set he asked for another set box of Wilds because the cards were so good. Listen, buy Wilds of Eldraine set box take. Might be the only thing I get to hang my hat on for 2023. And if he was happy with both boxes, Wilds was a solid set. If they want collectible, they should get in on gold. Like, it's gotta be both. It's gotta be both. It's got to be both. I will stress that. Agent Zero says not wrong. Let's go. And just to kind of wrap up some of the stuff we're talking about, because I did get a bit distracted from Wilds of Eldraine sales data, and we were talking about kind of the success of the set box and the movement of the set box. Peter Thompson, this is your first time in the freaking chat. Everyone chat. Welcome Peter Thompson to the Friday Morning Magic community. We are doing great. I hope you are having a fantastic day. And you know what? I hope you've had an opportunity to have yourself some caffeine this morning, because as I'm sure you can tell, I try to bring the energy around here, but I don't do it without a little bit of caffeine. So cheers to you. Any chance I can take to have a sip of my coffee. I get so involved in like hanging out with you guys on Friday morning. I often finish the live stream and turn and look at an almost full coffee. And I'm like, well, that was kind of a miss. Let's put this a bit into perspective here for just for a quick second. Let's go ahead and look at some Flesh and Blood sales data. We'll do this. We'll just touch on this real quick. And this is kind of to put stuff like this in perspective. And this is why I think I'm so concerned about things like the Lord of the Rings sales. So we look at Flesh and Blood, we see that Bright Light's the most recent release since its release. Since its release day has sold a little over 550 boxes on TCG Player. And so it's important to remember, like, hey, when we talk about and with sorcery dropping, and we're going to track sorcery sales information. Sorcery is something I've decided to engage with as a collector. For those who are new to the stream, first of all, welcome. For those who haven't seen it before, this is my welcome to the Shark Tank. We are collecting just a bunch of alpha foil giant sharks. My daughter, when the alpha came out, was very into the Baby Shark song, and I decided that I was going to collect a bunch of giant sharks because I'm a lame old man dad at this point in my life, and listen, stuff like that makes me happy. But we're going to be collecting that information. It's important to note, like, hey, these indie TCGs live in a different world. I used to be like, indie TCGs are competing with Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast. You better watch out. They're not. I love you all. They're not. So, Savannah Lion, welcome to the live stream. Savannah comments on, I think, every single video, always with the traditional, the trademark rock, metal horn rock sign, lion head, metal horn rock sign. Perfectly fitting for the name. Shout out to Savannah Lion. Welcome to the morning stream. I hope you find yourself well this Friday morning, my good friend. I appreciate you always sharing your thoughts on all of these products. So that's a little bit of perspective of the indie TCG space, and it's all, you know, it does go to show, like, this is why the Lord of the Rings numbers for the special Baller Super Edition, in my opinion, are so concerning, right? Like, and it's kind of a reason why they're so concerning, because that's really low. But looking at Lorcana, let's pop over. Let's check out Disney's Lorcana, because we have Lorcana announcements to talk about today. We have sales data from the first chapter that we can go over here. I need to change this perspective here a little bit, and it'll be like, whoop whoop, where are you? There you are. We need more. I need more of the data. More of the data, please. There it is. There it is, the data. Oh, the data. Oh, the juicy, juicy data. Oh, yeah. Oh, this data is so juicy. So juicy. Okay. Oh, hold on. We got there. That was painful. Oh my gosh. Okay. Lorcana sales information. We see the total boxes sold at 7,210. We have seen a slowing of boxes sold, and that makes sense with the announcement that we just got. We're gonna go over here in a second. We do see the booster box is selling well. All three boxes are selling okay. The booster box remains kind of the flagship product that people are looking to engage with, that people are looking to purchase. The booster box represents the greatest number of boxes sold as far as the breakdown of products here that is flowing through TCG Player. And the booster box represents, like, listen, that's where we're spending our money. A lot of that's because of the crazy price on the secondary market, but, like, that's okay. What's Yoko doing? Yosu getting G20 beta boxes from a singles in for. So glad TCG Players adding yes, sorcery is going to be sweet. Lorcana's okay. Not boobies, in my humble opinion. Oh, God. Oh, the podcast this week. We will watch some of the podcasts this week. Oh no, Yoko. Oh, the podcast this week is off the rails. It's off the rails this week. Anyway. So we see Lorcana sales slowing. You guys are crazy. You guys chat, you guys are crazy. We see the sales slowing, and I think a lot of that makes sense. As we got, hold on, drum roll. Up. Anybody? Oh, God, I loved having the second camera. This is going to be so awesome. We got the announcement of the restock. Coming. They said it's coming out to game stores this week. They tweeted that Wednesday. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. And I have heard confirmed from friends who own game stores, from game stores that support this channel, from a lot of the community that I'm plugged into, because again, being around this space for a long time, you build relationships, you make friends, and you're able to call those friends and ask, like, hey, before I make this video, is this true? And they're able to tell you, yes, don't say who I am, or no, it is not true at all. Also, don't say who I am. Kind of that deal. It does seem that the restock is at distribution. Now, it was said it was going to start coming to game stores this week. I haven't heard of any game stores getting their stuff yet. That's something I haven't heard of quite yet when it comes to Lorcana. But this does mean that the product is at distribution. The product will be coming to the game store, which means I assure you it will be coming back to big box stores, which means that these sales start to make a bit of sense, right? It starts to make sense as to why we're not seeing a ton of boxes sold. It makes sense why we're not seeing a bunch of people say, hey, I'm willing to pay on the secondary market a couple $100s for these boxes, right? Because like if we go, I think the first chapter booster box is still $380, almost $400. Yep, roughly $381. So we see this on the secondary market. We see the community reacting and being like, okay, we're going to slow down. We're going to slow down our buying of this product because we should be getting more of this in stock. Now, this is where I have a bit of a problem with Ravensburger. And then I got a question for you guys. I'll kind of see what you guys say. I've got a problem with Ravensburger because we were told we were getting this, like, I think it was end of September. Then we were told early October. Then we were like, it's coming. And now it's end of October. Most game stores will probably have it on shelf by end of October going into November. Like, this feels so delayed. And it feels like it's just another thing where Ravensburger made a mistake. And it's important to note, guys, I can say these things are mistakes, and the numbers don't lie. It's selling like hotcakes. It's popping off. Like, the number of boxes just moving through the market, the number of people buying these cards, and it's not everyone in the chat. It's all flippers. It's all, well, then they're the worst flippers of all time. If everyone buying Lorcana is a flipper, they're the worst flippers of all time, because the company producing the product is screaming from the top of their lungs that we're printing as many of these as we can. You're going to get a ton of them. And we're like, I'm going to keep buying at almost $400 a box when it hasn't gone up in months. So they're the worst flippers in the history of flippers. Like, that does not pass my smell test. Everyone buying this box is the dumbest flipper ever. Like, if people who are buying at 150, 200, 220, you could 100% convince me those were flippers. These have been at $381 to $400 for like well over a month and a half, probably 2 months now. This is not just like everyone's flippers. In fact, I think it's down from its high. So like, I don't know. I say all that to say Ravensburger dropped the ball on a lot of things. They made a lot of mistakes, but the game is still popping off. Like, it is clearly popping off. It is clearly doing well. I don't think you can find an argument that says Ravensburger did not do a good job with the first release. I would listen to that argument. You cannot find me an argument that says Lorcana's not doing well. That you don't have me in that argument. Like, there is no chance I am sitting there like, you know what I agree with? What you just said. Like, there's no chance. All right, so here we go. Sewer, basketball season. Oh my God, I've been watching basketball. I love the fact that basketball season is here. Who means Louis? Oh my gosh. I don't know. Louis is not where I get my sources. Louis' game store is one of the most unique experiences ever. Like, that guy, he does it different. Big shout out. And listen, Louis and I joke on each other all the time. He's one of my closest friends at this point. He's one of my best friends. He's one of the people I talk to the most in this world. That guy is doing it different and doing a good job. Like, it's pretty impressive what he's creating. So big shout out to him. The slowing is temporary. I know some of the plans to buy multiple boxes, 100%. On the restock, 100%. But that doesn't mean the whole market is flippers. That just means that people want the product. They want to get their hands on it. Listen, I'm going to buy boxes when they come out on the restock. Like, if I can get them at whatever the normal price is, I'm going to buy these boxes because they're fun. I love opening. Watch out. Me and my wife will do another live stream. That was a wild experience. That was a ton of fun. We're going to do some more of that. Patrick, Lorcana collector here. It's not all flippers out there. At least one of me. Yes. See, and listen, I'm still getting a ton of run out of the starter decks. Flippers are for famous Batman villain, just saying. Agent Zero, a welcome addition to the chat here. My brain can't get over more uncommons than commons. Oh, yeah. Some of the the TCGs we're seeing come to market recently are wild, and like, what is an uncommon, what is a common? That space has become so blurred. Savannah, you are 100% right, and you are flipping out. I get it. Yoko says Louis can argue that all day. No idea how, but he's wrong. Like, listen, he can argue it and he can scream as loud as he wants, but he's wrong on that one. And I love the guy, but he's wrong. Josh, I didn't realize his store is so close to me. I think my family's gonna take a day trip to go check out the spot. Oh, you gotta check it out. And when you get there, you gotta get him to sign a pirate card. From the Legion Realms at War made him into a card. He won't sign a freaking pirate card for me. Get him to sign a pirate card. Louis, sign the damn card. 8-0, it's a game of players more than flippers. Yes, 100%. 100%. So the restock announcement's going to be big. I think we're going to see some trouble. Savannah, thanks for hanging out. We're about to end the stream. I think we're going to see some trouble with how they print product and kind of they're lining themselves up. And hey, this is a problem when you have sets that go, back to back to back. But before we end the stream, let's pop over to what might be the second most fun you can have on the entire internet on a Friday morning. Let's go to Kitchen Table TCG. And let's check out the May the Zoo Be With You podcast. Oh my gosh, he really named the podcast that. This guy, chat. We will put this link in the comment section for those who haven't seen it yet can pop over and check it out. Let's pop over and watch the introduction of this podcast, because I got to tell you, it is a wild episode. We have so much to talk about here on this podcast. If you don't know, it is myself. It is Louis, owner of GameGrove.gg, and George, owner of Compete Sport, as we hang out and just talk about trading card games, Magic the Gathering, Sorcery, Lorcana, anything that we see fit. I'm going to pull this up. Let's check out what he used for the intro this week. I'm going to try to make sure the audio is. And guys, real quick, audio warning here real quick. Let's see. Your other idea was better. The custom made the Zuby with you cards with nude art of the three of us. That was a much better idea. Oh no. I really hope there's no cards with nude art with the three of us. That is Windows 3.1. Nope. Nobody wants to see that. So guys, thank you so much for hanging out. You can find this podcast in this link. Guys, thank you for everything this morning. You have made this Friday morning feel so awesome. I appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out today. Thank you so very much. Hopefully, listen, Josh Smith, tell me you wouldn't buy it. Josh Smith, look me in the eyes and tell me you wouldn't buy the May the Zoo Be With You Sorcery and Nude Art crossover. Love you guys so much. This has been an amazing Friday. Thank you so much for hanging out. Until next time, you guys know me. My name is Josh. Big shout out to Josh. Big shout out to Harold. Big shout out to Stupid Elf. This stream, you guys will sponsor the stream next week. This stream sponsored by, oh my gosh, it's been so long. It was Seth. This stream sponsored by Seth. Thank you so much for hanging out. Until next time, you all know me. My name is Josh, and well, we will see you around GG's. Oh, Yoko, where do you belong? That's what's up. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks, bye.